Welcome everybody, this is Instructor Lee, and today I'm going to be making a series of videos, well not just today, but over the span of the next few weeks. I'm going to be making a series of videos on how to succeed in not only my class, but in any class that you choose to take online. Most classes in universities have the same standards when it comes to discussion questions, homework assignments, and the basics, and so I'm going to be discussing those basics. Now, why am I doing this? Well, to make a long story short, is the small points, they really do add up. So you might not think that, the points really do affect your grade. No, it really does. This could make a big difference between an A or a B, or an A minus and an A, or a C and a D, or a pass or a fail. So I really want you to focus on the small things. Doing the small things right will really affect your overall grade. And that's kind of in life in general. The small things really do matter. Now, if you know me, I like to talk a lot, so I'm going to not talk a lot and get right to the point. So let's just jump right in. So what are we going to be discussing today? Well, we are going to be discussing discussion questions. Yes, Caden, I have my son here today. He's 4 years old. What's your name?
Caden.
Caden? Well, I'm writing this video. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Good.
Hey,
Well,
use this magic thing.
I'm using a magic pen?
Yes.
Yes,
And me too.
Nice. Well, thanks, Caden. So there's my son, Caden. He's going to be joining me. So if you see some scribbles on the little screen, it's probably him. Well, I'm going to at least blame him. But anyways, so let's jump in. So discussion questions. So what makes a good quality discussion question? Well, you have 2 discussion questions that are due every week, right? You have one on Wednesday, and then you have one that's due on Friday. These discussion questions need to be a bare minimum. Now, these are your initial responses. So your initial response needs to be a bare minimum of 200 words. That's each discussion question for each day. So each of your initial discussion questions needs to be a bare minimum of 200. That's a bare minimum. Now, I like to see it at 250 to 300 words. Now, with a max of 300, try not to go over that 300. The reason why is because you really don't want to be reading a book. These are discussion questions. These are informal. I'm not very strict when it comes to grammar or spelling. I want these to be your own words. But if you use resources like an online an online university or online forum or website or your textbook, just make sure to cite it. Now, I don't even care if these sites are in APA or Blue Book formatting or anything like that. Just a little quick note at the very bottom that says, hey, I took this from somebody else, this information from somebody else. So you really give that credit to that person. Once again, these are informal. I don't want you to stress too much about it. What I do want you to really focus on is the fact that you do need to get that 200 word minimum. That is a minimum requirement that I can't change. So if you don't reach that, then you're not going to get the full points. Now, the second thing is, so you have your initial responses that are due Wednesday and Friday. You have 2 classmate responses. Classmate responses. Yes, this is my true handwriting. It's a little hard to write on this tablet, but that's okay. You have 2 classmate responses per DQ. So for DQ1, you're going to have 2 classmate responses. So on DQ, I'm trying to make this really simple, DQ2, you're going to have 2 classmate responses. So 2 plus 2 is 4, right, Caden?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so 2 plus 2 is 4. So you have 4 discussion questions, classmate discussion questions that are due every week. These need to be a bare minimum of 50 points. Now, I like to see more than that. I like to see around 100, maybe 150 words. But once again, don't go over that max, guys. I don't want you stressing on reaching a certain number. Well, I do kind of. I want you to make sure you reach the minimum. But I don't want you to say, well, I have to write a paper. These aren't papers. These are discussion questions. I want you to enjoy them. I want you to learn. That's how we all learn, is through good quality discussion questions. Now, I want you to not only focus on the word count as far as the minimum, but everything needs to be substantive in nature. Now, these are the basics when it comes to discussion questions. So what puts your discussion question ahead of the game? What makes you really stand out? Well, when you ask others questions. I don't like green. Let me I'll use man, I don't have a lot of colors here. I'll do red again. There we go. Ask questions. Ask me questions. Ask your classmate questions. If you have questions, ask. Also, make sure you cite. These two things right here will really set your DQs apart from your classmates, and really make sure that you get a nice 100% with your discussion questions. Now, something that I didn't mention before is the fact that you need to participate at least 3 times a week. So don't post all your initial posts and all your student classmate responses on the same day. It has to be on 3 separate days. So you could have 10 posts, 10, your 2 initial and 8 student responses, and you're not going to get the full credit because you didn't post the 3 times a week, 3 different days. That's the point of the discussion questions. These are the bare minimum as far as requirements and what's really going to set you apart. Whoops, sorry, my battery is running low. What is really going to set you apart on your discussion questions. Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me. My next video is going to be on homework assignments, on how to really succeed with your homework assignments. Once again, if you have questions, please feel free to contact me. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned a lot.